yeah, I'm Matisyahu, and here tonight with Aaron Dugan on the guitar, Stubb on the bass, and we're going to be playing a few new songs off the record and discussing them. And here's the first one. This song is called, we're going to start with a song called Surrender. When I sail in the sun, tell my lady I'll be with her when the summer's come and gone. You're the moon on the rise, but my tide you're on the one. Sing the song of creation, the anthem for the young in my next life. Could I take another turn? Surrender. Surrender. 2 eyes make the prize, live the life I know I love Christ, I shine and I fly through the night with my sights set on the next bet. My life is not set yet, I got no regrets, cause to get where I could not take another turn. Could I burn another day? Could I move like a prince, slay the dragons in my way? I'll be dancing in the wilderness till my dying day. I'll be dancing on the graves of the brave I have slayed in my next life. I surrender my vision to your glory. It's a story of a silent sky, ancient eyes, new baby blues, old brown horizons. I surrender to your glory. Surrender my vision. Surrender my vision.
Thank you very much. So that song is called Surrender, and we just made a video for that, and it gave me like a little chance to talk about that. So as a musician, so usually thinking more in the lines of music, but a lot of the creativity and the artistry comes from the life experience and the life experiences that you have. So for an artist, experience and especially emotional experience is extremely important. And this song, Surrender, which I wrote, Stu created the music for this song. and sent it to me, and I have no recollection really of writing the lyrics. I don't remember really the process of writing or what I was thinking about when I wrote, but I feel that with the chorus there, with that line, surrender, I really got to the kind of kernel of an idea, which I find really beautiful, which is sort of one of the main themes on the record. And it comes out of humility, it comes out of the idea of surrender, which can mean obviously 1,000 different things to 1,000 different people, but it's always the same emotional experience, or not the same, but it's a certain degree of the same feeling, of the same sensation. So the experience that I had was sitting in my hotel room in Tel Aviv, and the room was all white curtains, and we were right on the beach, on the Mediterranean, on the sea there, and the sky is blue and the water is blue, and I'm in this all-white room, and I'm staring out the window, and I'm looking out at the ocean, I'm looking out at the people below, and I felt, all of a sudden I realized that how much time I spend looking out from behind the window. You know, so much of my life as a musician, bouncing around from place to place and looking out of airplane windows or hotel windows or tour bus windows, but always looking out, and I had this deep desire to experience, to go out and to go into the ocean, to go down the elevator and out into the world. And something was holding me back from that. Somehow it felt much more comfortable in my room looking out at the world and watching it from outside. And I spent hours there, and then eventually came down, decided to come down, and went out into the water. And the thing that led me to do that was that I saw this sailboat in the ocean, and the sailboat had this white sail. And I think I was listening to the song Surrender, or I was thinking about it, and something about the white sail with the surrender, the flag, and I got a whole series of images that came to me, and it inspired me. It gave me a real feeling of joy that there was somebody out there in a sailboat in the ocean, experiencing life for real, with real wind and real water and real feelings and that was what led me to go down and get into the ocean. So we actually just came yesterday from Chicago, is where you end up shooting these videos when you don't have major label support. Instead of the Mediterranean Sea, I was jumping in Lake Michigan. It was 50 degrees. I froze my tootsies off, so. We're going to move on to the next song. This one's called Hard Way.
Who's gonna quench your thirst now? Who can satiate something you can't escape? Who's gonna quench your thirst now? Who can satiate something you can't escape? Trees go bare and the sky goes gray, and the medicine's gone and the dog has strayed, and the hurricane hits and there's no barricade. In my bed I lay but I'm wide awake, staring into the darkness, pain won't fade, and my mind won't rest. What may follow in this hollow cave? Rise from the dust, I will rise from my grave. Rise from the grave. Who am I to say? I know love and it seems till it's way too late. I'm learning this the hard way. Who and ground, broken kingdoms come, crashing all around. Palace made of glass, thought that it might last. So afraid of change, don't do anything rash. Now I need my sight more than ever before. Yes, you might be right. I opened up a door. Everyone's right, don't know now. Everyone's got an opinion. Put it in a song and let me keep on living. Who am I to say? I know nothing, it seems, till it's way too late. I'm learning this the hard way. Who am I to say? I know nothing, it seems, till it's way too late. I'm learning this the hard way. Who am I to say? I know nothing, it seems, till it's way too late. I'm learning this the hard way. Learning this the hard way. You say it's your cage. You're a slave, you wouldn't have it any other way. And besides, you built it up that way. Who's gonna make you happy when you're your own worst enemy? Who's gonna make you happy? That song's called Hard Way, and that's the first song that we really worked on this record. Stu had created the backdrop, the music for this record, and brought it over. I actually came over to his house and played the music, and this sort of just came out. And we recorded that song in Stu's, at his apartment. And really, that song is pretty much intact on the record, how we recorded it. We never really re-recorded vocals or re-recorded much of anything, right, from that record. So that was made in the bedroom and or the guest rooms. And
And that was the first song we made on the record. And Hard Way, it just everything that was going on in my mind at that time. And again, it was a more free association. There's a lot of different ways of writing, creating music, writing songs, and writing lyrics. And sometimes it's more of a thought out, there's an idea or a concept that maybe I was studying. I spent a lot of time studying quite a bit of Hasidic text, mostly in Chabad and Breslov. And so a lot of my early records were a lot of times had been studying ideas and concepts, and then would write lyrics based on that, as opposed to a song like this, which is more just free association, with it's sort of like lying down on the couch, and just letting it out. So the lyrics obviously speak for themselves in that song, and the music. One of the things that I've, as a singer or a vocalist, that I felt really important was to find musicians and writers, creators of music that I really connect with from a taste standpoint, because at the end of the day, music is mainly about taste. There's so many different styles, there's so many different things you can say, but at the end of the day, there's, it's a subjective type of thing. So you have to find music which inspires you. And I've been lucky to find musicians like Aaron and Stu who have been able to keep me inspired in terms of the writing. Sort of what we did there at the end, which I like to do, especially when we play acoustic, is the improvisation. And I feel that's sort of an example of the song Surrender, in the sense that you sort of try to surrender to the moment and to listen. And it's funny because a lot of times people think of musicians or artists creating as creators, but there's a backdrop to the creation, and that is the absorption, being able to receive and to listen as a musician, meaning to listen. So really, you can be very talented, but the thing that you'll never get a Grammy Award for, you'll never get really noticed for, is your ability to listen. And the greatest listeners, the ones that are not only listening to what's going on, but are able to receive it in the deepest way, are going, if they're talented, to be able to create from the deepest point. And that's also very important for me, is the improvisation, because that's sort of an exercise in trying to let go to that point, and let go of all the rules and what's supposed to happen, and see what happens, which is really what, at the end of the day, what life is about, letting go and seeing what happens as it comes your way. So anyway, I'm Matisyahu. Again, this is Aaron Dugan and Stu Brooks, and we enjoyed being here tonight. Thank you.